Hello everyone, welcome back to KDTechs. In this video, we are building a clean to-do app in SwiftUI using MVVM, the professional way to structure iOS apps. Let's get started. I will start by creating a new project, and I will be choosing an iOS app for this project and click Next. Give my product some name. In my case, it's already default my to-do app, and I can just say my to-do. And the team I will choose as a personal team. The organization identifier for now I will leave as a default. For interface, I will be choosing a SwiftUI. For the language, I will be choosing a Swift. Click Next. Choose a location for your project to save and create. So once your application is ready, this is what you will see in your screen: a body with a VStack and image and text, and my to-do app as a launching page for your application. So here you will see there is a difference: body with some scene, and here you will see body with some view. Body with some scene we will be using it for the initial screen or for the start point of your or entry point for your screen. And our entry point, we are starting with our content view, and here is our content view where we have a VStack. In our case, VStack or HStack. VStack is a column and HStack is a row. And VStack is like a vertical stack and HStack is like a horizontal stack. In our vertical stack, we see one image and one text. The image has a globe as an icon and image scale large. And the foreground style is tint, which is in our case secondary color. And the text which is displaying currently hello world. This one you can change, KD text, and you will see our result in real time. It's all because of this preview, which we are passing our content view. All right, so let's get started with our to-do application designing. First, let's delete all this, and we have only our body with empty, with nothing. And here we say navigation view, and this navigation view has a body. Inside the body, we take a VStack, in our case, which is column, and here we say spacing, and the spacing for now is 0, and our VStack has a body, and then inside the body we will create our components. Here I say .navigation title. I give some title to our column, and this will be a to-do list. And the display mode, navigation display mode, will be large. All right, so this is what you will see until now. Okay, so how we want to design our to-do app. So first of all, I want to display some statistic, which will be showing the completed total to-dos, completed to-dos, and remaining to-dos. Below that, I want to put some filter. That filter will have, okay, let's first comment. We have statistics, and below that, I want to put filters, and below that, what should I put below the filters? I want to put the to-do list, and below the to-do list, what do I need? At the bottom, I need user input, which should be user input view. Okay, so these are the items I want to design for my screen. So let's start with our statistics. I say statistics view. Okay, so below inside the content view, just under the body, I want to create this method, and this should be private for, and I'll just copy this one here, statistic view, and this should return some view. And let's create a body for it. Okay, so what do I need for my statistic view? So my statistic view should be a row, because I want to display data something like this. Let's say I will be showing a total, and then this total will have, this total is one text, and then inside the text I want to choose like it's 30, 39, blah blah blah, this thing. So for that one, I want to create a row. So for the row, I want to take a horizontal stack, and this horizontal stack should have a body, and then below this horizontal stack I want to put some spacer that will just separate my edge stack with the bottom layout of the filters, to dos, and whatever I want to put there. Okay, so here I will take a vstack. Inside the edge stack I will take another column, which is in our case a vertical stack, and this one I will put like alignment. And alignment I say leading. So leading in our case is the start here, the trailing, the leading, and the center is here, and then or the end is here. So for now I want my vstack to start from the leading, and the spacing it should have 4. Okay, and we give some body here. Inside the vstack I will just take one layout of the text, and this text should have total, and this total should have something like okay, for now let's say 40 items I have. And the font should be subheadline. The foreground color I give it to secondary. Okay, now copy this one, paste and paste. So now this one I change to completed, and the completed I say 30 is completed, remaining should be 10. So the second one I say green, and the third one I say orange. Okay, so this is our statistic view. Okay, let's give some, this one should be, okay, I give spacer here, and this one I give some padding, and the background color I say background should have a color, and this color I take as dot system background. Okay, all right, this one is okay, here this one should be dot. All right, let's refresh here and see the result. Okay, this is what it will show, looks like. Okay, the second thing we need is a filter toggle view. Let's say filter toggle view, and copy this one, create a new private for toggle view, which will return some view. And this view, what does, okay, let's create one variable here, and this variable should have a state, and this state should be a private for is completed, and this completed should be a boolean, and initially it should be true. Okay, now let's create a toggle here, and this toggle is on, and the is on we passing is completed over here, and no label, we don't pass any label. Okay, and here we just say text. This text we say show completed item only, completed, and the font we pass as dot headline, and this one should have some padding horizontally, dot horizontal default padding, and the padding for vertical, since we don't want it to merge with the up, let's give it 8 padding. Now statistic view, let's refresh. Okay, this one need to put as a $sign here. Content view is refreshing. Okay, this is our toggle. Initially it's on, and you can off like this. All right, the toggle view is done. Now let's go. In our case, before I move to the list, I need to create one new view group, and this one I say data. Okay, in this data I just create one model, and this model should be a new file, and this file should be a Swift file, and I name it to do item. Okay, so we have foundation and start with the struct, and this one to do item as name, and this should be identifiable and also codable. Okay, and first I say let id, give some id which should be a unique UDID, and the second one let title, and this title should be a string, and let is completed, and this should be a boolean, and last one should be created 8 as date. Okay, and now we need to define some constructor for it. We need to initialize it with okay, I don't need like this. I want to do it myself. I say id should be UDID, but coming from UDI generated UDID as a new UDID, and title should be title coming as a string. The is completed should be a boolean, and initially it should be false, and created 8 should be a date, and initially it should have a date time, current date time. Okay, now we need to pass this data to our model. So we say self is in our model, and we define our ID in our model is equal to ID from outside, and then we say self dot title, inside title assigned by outside title, self dot is completed from outside completed, and self dot created 8 from outside created 8. Okay, so this data is coming from outside. The data with the variable with the self is our inside the model data. Okay, after init, one more thing I want to create one, since I already extend here Codable, so we can code our toggle over here also. I create one function, and this should be toggle completion. Okay, let's make it toggle completion, and it should have a unit, and this should return a to-do item. Okay, what we need to return here, since we already defined our return type is to-do item, so we say to-do item, and then I say ID. ID should be self.id, and title should be self.title, and is completed here is we need to define dot not self dot is completed. So not, what it will do, if it is true here it will make it false, and if it is false here it will make it true. Okay, then created 8 is self dot create 8. The rest is it is just here is completed. We change, if it is true make it false, if it is false make it true. Okay, that's the only thing we did here. Now go back to our content view. Now what we need to do is to design our list view. Now it should be easy for us. Okay, here I want to say to do list view. Copy this one, and now let's create a new variable, private for, and return some view here. Okay, this should be a list of what? A list of, okay, first let's create something. Let's create a list here. Say let items. Later, for now, we just designing a UI. Later, we will be using the MVVM with our local storage. So let's say a list of what? A list of to-do item. And what we need to pass to our to-do item is just title. And this title should have to-do item 1. Let's copy this one. To-do item 2 and to-do item 3. Okay. Now let's go here for each items, and this item should item in. So items will become one item. So now one item we should display here as a text, and this should be some content, and this content should have item, and we just say found dot just body. Yeah, title. Okay, let's wait for our preview to show us the result. Okay, this is what we have achieved until now. Okay, now what's remaining here is the bottom user input, and for that one, let's create let's say add to do input view. Copy this one, and let's create below our list, and we say private for a to do input view, and this should be also some view. Okay, and we should have a H stack horizontal stack, and this horizontal stack should have some padding, default padding. So horizontal stack should have a text field. Text field is used for the user input, and this should have some hint, or you can say placeholder, add a new to do, and what do we need to do with the text? And the text, we need to pass it to our, let's create one more state here. I see state private var to do input, and this should be string. Initially it's nothing. Okay, now we just say pass our text or our text to this variable, this one to do input. Okay, and then I say dot text field style, and the style should be rounded border text field style, and then dot on submit. What do we need to do on submit? Let's say let new to do, and this should be to do item, and this will have a title, and this title should be to do input, and this one does say like trimming characters in dot white space and new lines. We just remove the white spaces and new lines from the characters from the to do input, and then we passing this to items dot append new to do. And let's say state. Okay, let's go to our create one more item, which should be button, and this button should have some action. And what should it do while action that will be we see later. Let's have a body first, and this body should have an image, and that image should have an icon. So we take icon from our system name, and this system name we say plus dot circle dot fill. You can check more properties or more icons in using do some research about it. Okay, little title 2, and the foreground color for now I say dot blue. Okay, and then another property I say disable it when our to-do input dot trimming characters in dot white spaces and new lines dot is empty. So when it's empty, then just make it disable. All right, this is our screen, a to-do with some, and okay, here we do the same thing. All right, let's try our UI. If our UI is working fine, then we will continue doing the pretty part, which is actually the actual logic. Okay, let's run our application. Okay, this is what we have for now. Let's click on a to-dos, and we say my new to-do. Click plus, and this is added here, my new to-do. After that, actually, we supposed to do one more thing here, and that one is when it's appended, then we say to-do input is equal to back to empty. Control C, and also here. Run again. Lovely UI. Okay, you can see my to-do item new. Sorry, my new to-do here. Okay, all right, so it's working fine. Let's go to the actual part now. So our UI is ready. Now we will create our view model and our views. Okay, so as you see, our application is MVVM. So let's design our directory structure first. So the new one, I say view model, and one more view group, new group, I say is view. Now I will move my content view to the view. Okay, and my data is okay over here. And let's create one new file that will be our view model. And I say Swift file, choose a Swift file, and this should be to-do view model. And thus in this to-do view model, we should have we need this import foundation, and also we need another file. This is import combine. And now let's say class, we create a class of to-do view model, and this should extend observable object. Okay, let's start with our view model item. So the first thing I will mark as a publish properties. The publish properties is a wrapper. Actually, let's say publisher publish. This publish property is a wrapper notify observer when change occur. This automatically trigger UI updates in the Swift UI. So let's say var first is to do items, and this should be the list of to do item, and we initiate it as empty list, empty array. And then the second published item we should have is var new to do title, and this should be a string initially as an empty string, and the third one should be published var show completed, and this should be a boolean initially as true. Okay, now let's say another one, private property. This should be a private let user default key for the cache or local storage. We say to do items, and now we initialize our view model, and this initialization in the body, whatever we call, it will be called in the start of our application. So we say load to-dos. For now, we don't have this load to-dos. Let's create our load to-dos. Okay, and now here, let's say private function and load to-dos. And this load to-dos should, in the body, we say guard, guard, and let the data coming from the user defaults, which is actually in our case a cache or local storage, and from the standard the data, we need data for key, which key we already defined is a default key, else just return. If there is nothing, just return no, return nothing. Okay, then we say do let decoder, we take as a JSON decoder. We need to decode our data from local storage to JSON. So we say to do here, to do items is equal to try decoder dot decode, and this should be the list of to do item dot self coming from data, coming from this data. Okay, if there is error, catch error, and then we say print the error. This should be error loading to-dos from local storage, and we do some string concatenation, and this should show the error we have. Okay, it's error. All right, this is our load to-dos. Okay, now so our load to-dos will coming from our local storage. Since our local storage doesn't have anything, so what we need to do, another function we need to create to save. Say private function, and we have say save to-dos. And this one, in save to-dos, let's say do let encoder. So here we are decoding it, and now here we are encoding our data. Encoder is equal to JSON encoder, and then we say let data is equal to try encoder dot encode, and to do this one. Okay, this shouldn't be capital, this should be small. To-dos. Okay, and then now we need to pass this data to the user defaults to cache, and that should be set, and the set should have data for key, and now we need to give our user default key, which is here, right? And just in case of error, we print the error. print error saving to-dos, and then we will show the error also. Okay, that's it. We save the to-dos, we load the to-dos. Okay, now we need to do the real thing. So now let's say I want to add the to-do. Function add to-do. This one should be let let's say trim title, and this should be new to-do title, which is defined here, up here, and that one should be trimming character, and here in dot whitelist and new lines. Now what we need to do is to guard it. Guard, if not trim title dot is empty, then else just return. If it is not empty, then okay. If it is empty, then just return. So if it is not empty, what to do? Let new to-do is equal to to-do item, and we pass this to the title, and this should be trim title. Okay, and we add this to to-dos. To-do items. Okay, why is to-do? Yeah, to-do item dot append new to-do. Okay, after we append that one, we call our save to-dos, and we say new to-do title should be empty. Okay, that's what we can do here. All right, now another function before we move to implement this in our UI. Let's complete our view model first. So another one is function toggle to do, and this one should have a to do passed to it, and that should be a to do item. And what we need to do, if let index, we just grab the index from our to do items, belongs to this specific to do dot first index where $0 dot id is equal to the to do coming from outside dot id. Okay, we grab the index, and then there we say to do items index is equal to do dot toggle completion. So this toggle completion is already here. Okay, so we call this toggle completion. Once we call the toggle completion, then we need to save to-dos again. Save to-dos. Okay. One more thing, we say function delete to-do, and this delete to-do should have 8 index set, and that should be index set. We take the index from outside, and then we delete the index from our to-do items dot remove from where 8 offset, and that's index set. Okay, after deleting, we again call our save to-dos. Let's create one more. We say function move to do from one place to another place. I say from source, which should be source should be index, also index it, and then we say to to where, to destination, and then destination should be integer. Okay, all right. Let's move our to-dos from one destination to another. What we need to do here is to do item. To do items dot move from offset, which is our case source, and to offset should be destination, and then again we say save to dos. Let's create a variable, and this variable say filtered to dos. We filter to dos, and then we return as a list of to do item, and this one should be if show completed, then return to do items, and else only show incomplete to dos. So return to do items dot filter by each element, check with each element. The zero mean to check by each element dot is completed. No, each element which is not completed. Okay, this mean not. Okay, that's it. One more for our statistic var to do statistics, and this should return total as integer, completed also integer, remaining also integer. Okay. So let total is equal to do items dot count. Let completed is equal to do item filter is completed dot count, and then let remaining is equal to do items. Remaining should be total minus completed. Yeah, then just return. Okay, return total, completed, and remaining. Okay, this should be minus, not is equal to. Okay, that's it. Our view model is ready. Now let's integrate our view model into our UI. So before, our data was coming, all was hard-coded. Now let's link it to our view model. First of all, I will move all of these, comment all of these, and now let's create state object. This state object should be a private var of our view model, and this view model should have a to-do view model. Okay, let's go to our statistic view first. So in the statistic view, instead of 40, let's say we string concatenate, and we say viewModel dot to do statistic dot total, and then here completed the same. We say view model dot to do statistic dot completed, and here for the remaining we do the same. We say view model ViewModel dot to do statistic dot remaining. Okay, now for the filter one is on. Instead of here, we just say $, ViewModel dot show completed, and then go to our to-do view list. Instead of items here, we say ViewModel dot to do items, and then here item is okay for now, and then here add to do to do I say text should be ViewModel dot new to do title, and then here when on submit, what do we need to do on submit? ViewModel dot add to do. Okay, and here on action also we need to do is ViewModel dot add to do. Okay, and here this one we say ViewModel dot new to do title. Okay, let's refresh, or we can just directly run it. Okay, now let's say my new to do. Okay, my old to do, my current to do. Okay, this works fine. So all this data is now in our local storage. Okay, so now what we need to do is to add a UI to complete and to swipe and other stuff. So what I need to do is to go to view, and inside the view I say create a new file, and this should be a Swift file. Click next, and this file should be a to-do row view. In the to-do row view, I will first let's say struct to-do row view, and this should return a view. First, let's say let to do, we need to pass a to do here, right? And that should be a to do item, and one callback function, and that should be on toggle. This should be a callback function, and that should be white. Let's create a body. The body should have some view, and the view first has horizontal stack, and this horizontal stack has a spacing of 12, and then inside we have one button, and the button should have some action, and that action should be on toggle. The action is on press or on tap. Okay, and then we should have some image, and the image should have an icon, and that we will take from system name. And this from system name, and this should be check mark dot circle dot fill, and that one also we can just say to do dot is completed and the fill, otherwise just take a circle. Okay, and then dot found should be dot title 2 and dot foreground color. Foreground color we say to do dot is completed, then take dot green, else there should be space, else dot gray. Okay, and then the dot button style, the button style should be plain button style is function. Okay, below that what should we have is vertical stack, vstack, and this vstack alignment, stack alignment should be dot leading, and spacing should be 4. The vstack should have a body, and this should have a text, and the text should have a to-do dot title dot font should be body dot strike through. Strike through should be only when the to-do dot is completed, and the color should be dot gray. Okay, then foreground color. The foreground color should be to-do dot is completed, then dot gray else dot primary. Okay, then the other one should be, let's copy this one here, paste, strike through we don't need here, and here we should have a to-do dot created date. We put created date and backspace here, and from here we just put dot secondary color. Alright, so below the horizontal stack we just put some spacer here, and then under this one we need to put under the vertical stack, and under the horizontal stack we put some padding. It should be just padding, and this padding should be dot vertical, and vertical should be 8, and the content shape should be rectangle. Okay, let's do one more thing. Let's format the date. Maybe say for private function and then format date, and this we pass date as a parameter here, and this should be date, and what should it return? It should return string. So what we need to do is let formatter is equal to date formatter, and formatter dot date style is equal to dot short, and then formatter dot time style is equal to short, and then we return formatter dot string from the date which we passed from the outside. Okay, so now we, instead of created it directly passing here, we just say format date, and then we pass to do dot created date over here. Cool, let's go to our content view. In the content view, when we are passing here as a text only, so here we need to now change this text to our new to-do row which we created over here. So I just comment this line over here, and now I pass as a to-do row view, and this one I need to pass to-do rows, right? So I need to pass to-do, which is in my case, let's say to-do, and this one should be item, and on create, this one later we define, so let's move with the to-do item. Okay, and we create a body. Inside the body we say ViewModel dot toggle to do, and this one also we should pass item. Okay, and then we say dot swipe action, and we edge, and then this edge we say dot trailing, the rest we remove, and in the body of the swipe actions, we create a button. This button, the role of the button should be destructive. This destructive should start destructive. What should be the body of the button? So in the body of the button, we say if let index is equal to view model dot to do items dot first index where each item dot id is equal to maybe item dot id. Okay, what we need to do with that? We need to pass view model dot delete to do 8 index set which should be integer, and this should be the index. Okay, we pass the swipe action. Okay, dot, let's go here. Let's say label, and label should be label, and that label we say delete system image trash. Okay, let's go to for each on delete perform index set. Okay, so let's do like this, perform remodel dot delete to do, not 8 anything, yeah, just delete to do. Then on move, do the same, remove the body until perform and just say view model dot move to do from to. That one we no need to define. Let's like this. Okay, the edge. So we are facing something cannot end for contextual base reference to member trailing. This is all because we don't have the Swift. We didn't import the SwiftUI over here. All right, now you won't see that error anymore. So let's refresh here. All good, and we can run our application right away. So our application is up and running, and you can mark as completed, and you can add a new to-do. Let's add a new to-do by saying this is a new to-do item. Click plus, or you can simply submit. Okay, so you can click on the circle icon to complete it, and once you click on it, there will be a strike through the title, and when you swipe to the left, there will be an icon visible for the trash icon. So when you click on that one, the to-do item will be deleted, and if you long press on the one item, and you can move the position from one place to another. So that one also we have defined in our application by using the on move and on delete. So yeah, you can complete and uncomplete all this, and you can see all that we have 4 items, and the 2 of them is completed, 2 of them is remaining. Our application is working fine. So thanks for watching, and if you want to find the source code is in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for the more videos, and thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for subscribing. See you in the next video.